to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, or Mike if you prefer, and I got a review for you today. Today is going to be the part 3 to the Batman Catwoman Gotham War. We're going to cover 2 more issues in the series. But before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe on this guy's channel. It does help. Hit the bell. You never know when I'm going to be dropping videos. It'll keep you in tune when I do drop the videos. So all the writer information for both issues we're going to cover is down below in the description. So let's get started on Batman issue 138. This is the Godzilla Kong connecting variant cover. I also got another example because I went crazy on this issue, but this is the Halloween Trick or Treat. I think it's Chrissy Zulo, variant or whatever. Alright, so Batman 138, and I think this is officially part 4 of the series. We're starting out with Vandal Savage, and if you're not caught up with this series, I highly suggest going to check out my part 1 or 2, or just picking up the single issues. It's not a long event. But recently Vandal Savage has come to Gotham. He bought Bruce Wayne Manor for unknown reasons. The book starts out, and basically it's kind of explaining, Vandal Savage maybe to new readers and stuff like that. For those of y'all that don't know, Vandal Savage is an immortal. He's like a early Cro-Magnon that was back in the BC times. A meteor slammed into the earth containing, special ores and magic and stuff like that. That's what made him immortal, but he wasn't the only one. Other people will know of Ra's al Ghul, who is also an immortal and has been known to be, use the Lazarus pits that are scattered throughout the earth to, continue his immortalness, But Vandal Savage explains how an important thing that no one ever questioned where that meteor came from, what gave him the powers, kind of thing. And that's where this little narration leaves us off. It's basically like Vandal going to meet Ra's al Ghul back in the past, kind of asking him for help, and we're going to get more into it. So we go back to Batman and Jason Todd. Recently, Batman had kidnapped Jason Todd, stuck him in the neck with a syringe, said one of the most creepiest things ever, and basically took him back to the brownstone, and we found out what Batman did to him, and it is tripped out. So basically he modified this fear effect, this fear toxin that Scarecrow uses, and modified it, he says, in a good way, but basically he made it where every time the Red Hood's adrenaline increases in a certain way, the fear toxin kicks in and basically immobilizes him, grips him through massive fear, as you can see, up here. Anytime, basically he, his anxiety kicks in, or, stress, or, basically the massive amount of fear, takes over his body. And Batman explains, he's gone on too long. He's been killing people, talking to Jason Todd, and, it's time that he's enacted, something to change this badness that's in Jason Todd, is the way that Batman puts it, and that's why he did this. And then basically he just kind of leaves Jason there. We jump over to Nightwing, and it's kind of a first, especially for a Batman fan, but we find out that there is another failsafe, so to say, because Failsafe is a real character now. But we also find out that on the technology side, Batman had a failsafe set aside for all his secrets, information, all his backup, for the backup computers, but it also has him linked to all his communication, all that stuff. So we find out Dick is heading to this secret location that we found out that he's had, all the way back in the beginning, and he's kept it secret, away from Wayne Manor, away from the brownstone, just in this case, for villain security reasons, kind of thing. But Dick is here to shut off the, it's called the Bat Box, and basically he's going to turn it off and cut Batman off of his all his gadgets and stuff, basically, except for batarangs and stuff like that. We find out that the Bat Box is being protected by Damian. Dick explains that this was all set up in the past, that Batman had this failsafe set in place for just this, for instance, if Batman ever started to look like he was going crazy or something like that, which they believe he is. It's not Batman, it's Zer or R or, whatever his name is, but it's Batman's other personality that's, controlling him. So Damian steps in and tells him, nah, that was something that was set up a long time ago, and that's why I'm here, to stop you from doing this. And this fight gets vicious. I mean, Damian already is, but he does draw blood from Nightwing, actually, like, cutting his face with one of the batterings, as you can see, right here. But eventually Damian actually kind of gets taken out of the situation briefly by somebody I was not expecting, but Tim Drake kind of steps in and gets Damian out of the room and takes the fight to the street. We jump over to Catwoman and basically her generals. We got Dario and Marquise and Catwoman's like, look, we need to find Jason, no, we need to find our other thieves, and Marquise is like, no, you need to go find Batman and get him to stop this, cease fire to the situation kind of thing. And Catwoman's like, once Batman gets it in his mind, there's no stopping him. I mean, we're lovers and stuff, but I don't have any say towards that kind of thing. And basically Marquise is, which we know, this person right here, Marquis, is basically a Scandal Savage. It was revealed in the last, issue that is Vandal Savage's daughter, and she's been infiltrating Catwoman's gang. But she is, basically convincing Catwoman to go, talk to Batman, and that's what happens. So we go back to Nightwing, and he's trying to deactivate the Bat Box, and there's a whole bunch of procedures that go through. As you can see, it's like a retinal check, a voice check, and as we get to the voice check, we find out that the voice check is actually the oath that Batman made Dick Grayson swear by when he took up the fight to fight this darkness that's out in Gotham or the world in general. And as he's saying that oath, Batman steps in and he's all like, nah, man, you've forgotten that oath. You're getting it confused now. He was all like, trying to help Catwoman, help these thieves do what they do, kind of. No, that's not the oath that I made you take. And it's just a, brawl at this point. And Batman does not disappoint. He quickly takes out, Nightwing's baton, just smashes it in half. We also get this moment where Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler, comes through and he gives these riddles to Batman, and he's basically helping Batman. Dick hears this and he's like, "You're teaming up with the Riddler? What the hell?" And he was like, "You're mad at us for siding with Catwoman," kind of thing. And Batman explains that he's taking the info from the Riddler, but also at the same time, he's using it to track him so he can, catch him and turn him in. So we go back to the street with Damian and Tim Drake, and at this point, Damian, they're both, it's so hard to choose which one is the better fighter, because both of them are hands down great, fighters, but ultimately Damian does end up losing the fight, and he gets handcuffed to like a parking meter or whatever, and the only reason he loses is because Tim Drake kind of cheats, and Damian goes into it and doing a fair fight kind of thing, and Tim Drake ends up just using a stun baton to stun him. So we jump back over to Nightwing, and we see that it's not so one-sided at this point, but it kind of is. But they eventually do manage, because now it's all three of them. Tim manages to bolo Batman, get him entangled and stuff, and at this point they are trying to talk him some sense in him. He tells Nightwing to go back to the Bat Box to deactivate it, and Tim's straight, and Tim is like, "I'm gonna save Batman." Everybody else is trying to fight him and this and that, and Tim, that's kind of Tim's thing. He always has been there to save Bruce. So we do go back, and there's some badass stuff with Batman where he's still, even though he's all like snared up, he's still fighting. But Nightwing gets to the point where he goes back and he's trying to deactivate the Bat Box, and that's where that leaves us off. So we go back over to this fight with Batman and Tim, and Batman again doing what he did. You can't stop this fool, So eventually we do, Nightwing gets up there, and before he deactivates it. He actually uses it because it is connected to all that information. And at this point, Nightwing wants to know what happened to Jason Todd, what Batman did to him. And Nightwing finds out, and this is the outcome after, you know, all gloves are off at this point, because Nightwing's like, "You monster, what did you do to Jason?" You know, and he was like, "You've infected his mind, your son." You know, and at this point, you know, Dick is just going, you know, ham out on Batman, you know, no pulling the punches kind of thing. And Batman eventually gets tired of it, and eventually uses a net and, you know, ensnares both Tim and Nightwing, claiming that they failed kind of thing. We see some of this popping up, you know. Zur is there, you know, and he's telling Batman he's holding back, you know, and we see that you know, just like, you know, Dick had confirmed, that Zur is there, and he's maybe a lot more controlled than even the book is showing us, kind of thing. So Batman basically leaves the boys in that net, you know, knowing that they don't have any sharp weapons. He's already dismantled most of the stuff that they could use to get out, and he's like, "Hey, look, it's time for y'all to face, you know, something that I've been saving y'all from forever. You know, y'all have never had to go to jail and stuff like that." He's like, "Well, fuck it, you're going to jail, people." And he basically leaves, you know, Dick and Tom to go to jail. But we find out that this is, you know, they had planned for this, and they do have some sharp stuff. They end up getting out. They're aware that the police is on the way. But before that happens, they run over to Damian, you know, giving him a hug, consoling him, because at this point, and we all saw this, but Batman just dipped and left, you know, Damian, his real son, not his adopted son, his real son. And Damian saw this too, and, you know, he doesn't understand why Batman left him. You know, especially since Damian's been the one guy that took his side, kind of thing. Last but not least, we jump back over to Marquise, and she has tracked down Jason Todd, finding out that he is safe. Everybody's been looking for him. We find out she's trying to recruit him, and it finds out that Jason's kind of not himself at the moment, that he is tainted and stuff, and basically Scandal Savage at this point is like, you know, time is the essence, and I was kind of looking for a warrior, and you're not it right now. So, yeah, you know, that's kind of it. At the very end, we get a couple different scenes. You know, we get Batman going back to the city, saying he's failed. You know, his whole like parents' motif, this and that. We get some more Zur. Basically, at the end of this issue, we get Batman just, you know, broken. He's failing on all kind of ends, and Catwoman eventually like pops up and basically, you know, we need to talk, Bruce. All right, so we got this last panel here. We're going back to what the Vandal Savage was starting in the beginning of the issue, and you know, like I said, it was all in the past. That was a past moment where Vandal Savage was trying to get the help of, you know, Ra's al Ghul. He was trying to find these items to regain his immortalness, and Ra's al Ghul did not want to help him find these items or help him with his immortalness, claiming that he needed to die, kind of thing. It was the intimate to all things kind of thing. But that was the past, and we know recently that Ra's al Ghul is currently, you know, dead. We've seen that he's not, but you know, so some of those items have been relocated, and that's kind of the going plan from Hero Vandal Savage. Is he's after these items so he can, you know, grant immortalness. But not only that, he has locked in all of Catwoman's thieves, and basically he is making his own League of Shadows. And how he's gaining their acceptance, power through immortality. If they join up with him, they'll get, you know, immortality. But that was Batman 138. Next we got Catwoman 58 right here. And let's get straight into it. It starts off right where the last one left off. Catwoman, you know, standing over Bruce, a broken Bruce kind of thing, and you know, she's saying that she needs to talk, and this boy crumples. You know, I mean, this was, you know, a hard page to read for me, because I love the romantic couple that Bruce and Catwoman are. The whole dilemma between the two, you know. In this moment, you know, the whole war thing kind of fades away, and they just need each other. You know, Batman, you know, kind of going through what he's going through, Catwoman going through what she's going through, you know, and they both still being lovers, still both being able to confide in each other, kind of thing. So there is the question of, like, you know, a ceasefire, you know, that kind of thing. But before they can get going, and you can kind of see it in the background here, but fires start popping up in Gotham, and before they can even get more into the conversation, they are exploded off the rooftop. They end up having to grapple into each other to save each other, which Catwoman loves, and you know, she feels at home, kind of thing. And most of this is, I mean, it's Catwoman's book, but this is narrated from Catwoman's perspective and stuff. They have this almost, you know, kiss moment, and eventually, like, Batman's like, look, I got to take care of these fires thing, and Catwoman's like, look, we need to talk. What happened to Jason, you know? But before that happens, you know, Batman kind of like disappears and does what he does, and Catwoman's used to him. So Catwoman, she gets this call from no other than Marquise, and Marquise is telling her that you know, that they want to have a meetup, and a secret meetup kind of thing, and there's some stuff to be revealed, and they show Catwoman has already found the location before they can even finish a sentence, kind of thing, and Vandal knows that she's there. So we get this whole, like, you know, story set up from Vandal Savage, and now Scandal Savage revealed to Catwoman as, you know, to be her daughter, kind of thing. And he kind of lays out his plans. Hey, I want you and your crew to steal these 3, you know, magical items that hold pieces of this meteor that can give people immortality. Once you steal these items, I'm going to give everybody immortality, and you're going to join my League of Shadows, kind of thing. And Catwoman's like, nah, that's not my whole goal. She's like, we're not rent-a-puppies or rent-a-cats, you know, I made these people empowered, I gave them the skills so they could be on their own, kind of thing. They don't need to work for anybody, and that's kind of, you know, you're doing the circle thing. You're trying to go back to what we were doing before, and that didn't work. So of course, you know, Vandal don't like that answer, and he's just like, I'm gonna kill her, you know. And sure enough, he straight up does. I mean, he slices her head off. I mean, you know, I was like, okay, you know. So we get this scene over here where Catwoman's still talking. We find out it's none other than Lady Clayface posing as Catwoman. Now knowing the whole scandalous, see what I did, plot behind, you know, Vandal Savage and Scandal Savage, Lady, you know, Clayface kind of bumps off and disappears and manages to go back and tell Catwoman. So basically at this point, Vandal's like, damn, you know, I got time to enact Plan B, kind of thing. So we get the scene here in a villain hideout with all of our known Batman's rogue gallery, generally most of them, but in the first couple panels you can see Scarecrow, Firefly, Ventriloquist, Two-Faced, but there's quite a bit of them there, and basically, you know, Vandal's telling them the same situation. Hey, you know, I want to give everybody this immortality, I'm about to get these items, you know, and all we need to do is kill the Bat and the Cat. And hey, guess what, I just inherited this house that happens to have all this badass technology, the Batcave, and I'm gonna give that to y'all if y'all can kill the Bat and the Cat. So basically all these villains are like, hell yeah, I'm on board. So we go back over to Jason, and Jason's trying to escape the brownstone. He was not left, you know, he was just left unchecked because Batman, you know, did what he did. So, you know, we got Jason over here, and he's trying to get out of the brownstone. He's having trouble just crossing the street, kind of thing, because his stress keeps, you know, climbing, and it's causing him to go in the fear thing. Eventually he does, and as he's, you know, managed to get past these cops, and, you know, he comes across this building that's burning, and Jason does what he does best. He goes in there and he saves this little kid. Tells the little kid that don't be scared. I'm scared too. You know, it's okay to be scared, kind of thing. So with Catwoman knowing, you know, the scandalous Vandal Savage plan, you know, she goes off and does what she does best. She goes and steals one of those items, specifically this dagger, to kind of have like a false, you know, her own false save due to all this, you know, happening or whatever, and to fuck off Vandal Savage, kind of thing. As she's leaving the, you know, that thievery moment or whatever, the museum where that dagger was, she's greeted by none other than Scandal Savage, and it doesn't go like it's supposed to go. Scandal actually just shows up wanting to talk, but she is in like full weapon mode, and Catwoman doesn't like that she's got her blades drawn and doesn't want to talk, period. And knowing all the devious plots and plans, kind of thing. She eventually beats the hell, kind of scratches up, Scandal, and then manages to jump off to another rooftop, leaving, saying she better not see her again, kind of thing. We get this scene right here, which was kind of unexpected, but Catwoman and our Selena Kyle guys goes over to the brownstone to see Bruce, and she wants to continue that conversation. She kind of wants to know what happened to Jason Todd. Again, Batman's not so foretelling, about the whole situation. He believes he's in the right, but he kind of tells her in a just type of way. They eventually head out to go, help with the fires, kind of thing. But not only that, but at this point we find out that Batman has been tracking Jason just in case. Another one of those, really fucked up situations, the fail safes that he's using with Jason. But he has tracked him to the burning building, and luckily enough, because Jason couldn't get out of the building, he actually, the fear caused him to panic, and him and the little girl are still in there. Batman and Catwoman managed to find Jason, save the little girl and Jason, and get him out. Batman, carrying Jason on his back, kind of thing. And when they get out, all three of them kind of confiding and being like, look, this is kind of dumb. We're all going in different directions, some bad things have been done, but we got this whole Vandal Savage thing, happening. So we're going to need to team up, all information on the table, kind of thing, to stop what's coming, because they know of the whole, the villain thing on the side, the Vandal Savage thing, and then now all the thieves have disappeared, kind of thing, and there's talk of the League of Shadows. And so we get the scene over here, and it's just a neighborhood scene after all these fires and stuff, and these people complaining to police officers about the fires, the theft, because as the fires were going on, it looked like Catwoman's thieves were still in play, kind of thing. But before they can get going, this old lady points out that the cops might have some other situations that are popping up, and I love this scene right here. This is so dope. I don't get it, but so we got all the villains, right, and they're all geared up and ready to go. And the thing that I don't get is, why is Ventriloquist and Puppet Master dressed like Batman and Robin, and then we got this dude over here that I don't recognize, but he's in full Batman gear. I think it's Black Mask, actually. But yeah, I love it, but I don't know why they're doing the Batman theme. I mean, they're out there to kill Batman and Catwoman. But hey guys, this is my review on Batman 138. This is I don't even remember, part 4 and part 5 of Gotham War, and I will have part 4 in this series coming up quickly. I'm trying to get this out of the way and knock it out, kind of thing. But guys, that's my review. Let me know down below what you're thinking. Man, that Batman issue, that it was great. That's why I spent so much time on it in the review, because it was such a fantastic issue. The Catwoman follow-up issue was just as great. All this stuff going on with Jason Todd. Oh my God. As a Batman fan, this is hard for me to read. I mean, I never wanted a day where any member of the Batman family was against each other, pitted against each other in this fashion, but it's written in such a way that I'm loving it. They're bringing up stuff that you can't really touch base on until you have a situation like this, but guys, my thoughts, my review, let me know down below what you're thinking. I'm sorry this was a long video. I'm gonna let y'all go. Bye.